Okay, first, welcome everyone come to this virtual room that we can have this, how can I say that, this talking. And at first, I would like you to give an intro of yourself and your company to all the audience. Start with Kevin.
Hi, I'm Kevin Joyce. I'm most well known as being the founder of VRCORE, which is an international publication covering AR and VR. But last year, or this year, sorry, I left VRCORE and set up my own company. It's called Tiny Brains, and at Tiny Brains, we do AR and VR marketing consultancy. So we deal with startups that are trying to break into the consumer market for AR and VR, and also companies that are based in the East that are looking to move into the Western market. We have a nice client base right now, companies that are working across VR and AR entertainment, healthcare, and also education.
Oh, thank you, Kevin, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And then we can move, Bejamin, your turn.
Okay, hello, my name is Bejamin. Rebecca, can I speak in Korean?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. 안녕하세요.
大家好，
저는
我是本杰明，
벤자민입니다.
我在
서울
서울
엑셀
XR
스타트업스라는
스타트업公司中
엑셀러레이터에서
担任
투자
投
심사
资
역을
审
맡고
查的职位。
있습니다.
我曾见证
한국에서
了
지난
韩国过
4년간
去4年
300여
里
개의
300多
VR,
家
AR
VR,
기업을
AR 企业的成长。
만나왔습니다.
谢谢大家。
감사합니다.
We will have the screen later. And Roy?
Hi, hello, I'm Roy from Ignite VR. So my company is, we do a lot of different like immersive virtual reality and augmented realities experiments. We do different concepts. We try out different things. At the start, we had a VR arcade at the beginning. Then we moved into like software development, and we do a lot of event booths all around Singapore where we are based at. And recently, we have been doing a lot of augmented reality experiences as well. So, in a nutshell, we are kind of a ragtag bunch of people in my company, and we try to like have fun and explore this really amazing platform. And myself, I'm also one of the board directors of Asia VR, which is a Singapore meetup group where we organize events like this, where we gather people together, gather like great speakers to come and share about all this amazing experience that they have had with this immersive platform. So that people who are interested in this can actually find out more and also learn from these people.
Okay, thank you. And for myself, I am Rebecca Liu, the founder of VRCORE, and we use 3 based in England, Korea, and Singapore, and myself based in China, Shanghai. So this sharing will be, how can I say that? Very useful to understand different market have different situation. So the next, I'm going to ask you, which contents or hardwares draw your attention most in this year? Could you share your opinion?
Well, for the UK and the US, it's most definitely the Quest 2, obviously, this year. Given the situation with the virus, the original Quest sold really well at the start of 2020. Lots of people who maybe never thought of buying VR products were using it for essentially telecommunications. And so when the Quest 2 arrived, even now, it's still very hard to get hold of. It's in very high demand. And obviously that can only be good for VR when the adoption rate is increasing dramatically. A lot of the developers I speak to that have created software for the Quest 2 have also seen a knock-on effect. It's not just a case of the same people buying the newer headset. It is a larger audience for VR now, which obviously is a good thing for everybody.
Thanks. Bejamin?
So in Korean situations?
Yeah.
Okay. 한국은 오큘러스 2 등장이
我认
가장
为在
핫한
韩国 Oculus
사례라고 할
2
수
的问
있습니다.
世可以
그러나
说是最热
한국에는
门的事
많은
件了。
오큘러스 2가
然而，因为
판매되지
韩国
못하였습니다.
Oculus 2的库存很
그
少，
이유는
所
판매
以
수량이 적었기
Oculus 2
때문인데요.
在
그
韩国的销
반면
量并不
Nreal이
高。
만든 AR
与此
글라스는
相反 ，Nreal 制
한국에서
作的
처음으로
AR 眼镜
LG
首
U
次在
플러스에서
韩国
판매를
LG U 家销
시작하였습니다.
售。
AR 글라스의
AR 眼
미래가
镜的未
기대되는
来，
부분입니다.
正是我最期待的部分。
Thank you. Is there any content bring your attention to?
Yeah, about the content.
Yes, I
한국의
mean,
컨텐츠는
在
컨텐츠는
内容方面，
하드웨어 발전과
随着
더불어서
韩国
특히 커비드
目前硬件的发展，
19 이후로
再加上疫情
소셜
影响，
네트워크와 관련된
与
VR
社交
컨텐츠가
网络
많이
相关的
늘어나고
VR 内容
있습니다.
正在逐渐增多。
okay, thank you. And we're going to next, Roy.
Hi. So, of course, I like to agree with the other two speakers. Oculus Quest 2 is definitely the big one. It's also like one of the default hardware that the developers we use ourselves. We also recommend consumers especially to have it because of the pricing and as well as the quality of the headset. But beyond all this headset, right? I think that the other headsets are still come into importance. Our company actually recommends the Pico headsets to our enterprise customers because of the good support that they can actually give in the region that we have in ourselves. We are distributors for the Pico headset locally, and we have access to create like custom launchers and those kind of things for it. Vive Pro Eye is also still one of the recommended VR headset, especially for the PC-based headsets over here, because in Singapore and I think in many regions as well, we have very good distributorship as well as warranty support for all these industries. And the eye tracking I think the eye tracking for the Vive Pro Eye is still one of the best we have seen out there, especially for the price point that they are offering it at. And for AR glasses, I think similar to what Bejamin has mentioned, the Nreal is something that we are keenly looking at. Myself, I have been doing some development with it. And other than Nreal, which is a bit hard to get at the moment outside of like Korea and maybe Japan, I think we are also looking at other AR glasses like HoloLens 2, as well as the Shadow Creator, which we are really we have been playing with the Gmo ones, and also we are really excited to get our hands on the new, what is it called, the Hong, can't remember the name for the newest one that's coming out that looks like a Nintendo Switch. So I think for hardware wise, next year is going to, as all this hardware gets into maturity, I think next year will be really exciting to see what kind of content can be created from them. For content-wise, I think this year a lot of the I think the virtual desktops content like Spatial, Engage, and all this, where you can actually have your virtual office inside. I think that those are really attractive this year. I mean, games, it definitely can read all the other websites for the game reviews. And I think what I'm really excited about is something that Oculus showcased recently with their virtual office, where you can put on your Oculus Quest, you can see your surrounding around you, and you have like your screens around you as well. I think that's something that is the most attractive to me.
Yeah, thank you. And for myself, about the hardwares, you three mentioned Oculus 2 and Unreal and Vive Pro Eye. That's both bring my attention to. But for the content, the most one I like is Half-Life Alyx, because this game, is my actually playing the VR game, which I feel stunning, and the whole picture can drop you in this virtual world. So that's definitely the most bring my attention content.
Can I just add, as a comparison for East to West, the Vive Pro Eye has pretty much disappeared in the West. Nobody talks about it anymore. The Valve Index has, in terms of high-end consumer, the Valve Index has kind of taken its place as the leading high-end headset. The Vive Pro I is still used for enterprise solutions, but it's not really considered to be part of the top tier of the consumer headsets anymore.
Interesting. Can I ask why? In your opinion, what kind of reason you think?
My assumption is that it would be the price, but also the Vive Cosmos, when that arrived, was considered very disappointing. So Vive have kind of shifted from being a front runner in the industry to almost like a second or third place even. And everyone's waiting to see what they do next and isn't really investing in what they're doing now.
Okay, looks they are doing not as good as the work, not as good as Asia market. Maybe I should give them advice. Okay, thank you. So we're going to the next question. In your regions, what do you think is the most important thing that happened in XR industry this year?
Well, again, for us, it would be the Quest 2. The consumer adoption rate, as I mentioned earlier, has been phenomenal compared to last year, the year before. It is obviously, again, accelerated by the virus and people not being able to see each other in person. But the situation with the rate at which the Quest 2 is selling is wonderful. Even, as I said earlier, it's even really hard to get hold of now, a few months after release, and we're seeing auction sites like eBay and even on Amazon, prices being £100–150 more than what the normal retail price is. It's selling like even now, a few months after release, like it's a brand new device that's really hard to get hold of. So people are obviously buying them and selling them on to make money from.
Benjamin?
한국 시장은 COVID-19 이후 이전으로 너무 바뀌는데요. XR 마켓은 굉장히 힘든 상황이었고 투자 유치도 매우 어려운 상황이었습니다. 그러나 코비드가 생기고 나서 찬스가 옵니다. 그 찬스는 거버먼트 쪽에서도 왔고 그 다음에 투자자들도 비대면 온라인 마켓이라는 것에 대해서 상당한 관심을 갖기 시작했습니다. XR 컴퍼니들은 여기서 큰 힘을 받을 수 있었고 비대면 온라인을 사용하는 VR 시장으로 전환하는 그런 기회가 되었습니다.
Thank you.
For me, there is no really like one most important thing that happened in the XR industry. I feel like it is something that has slowly grown throughout the last 5 years since 2016 that actually make it easier for it doesn't have to be a XR industry like specifically, because I don't really believe that it's really we are an industry of its own, whereas we are something that spreads across like horizontally across many different industries, from like the AEC sector to automotive to like games and stuff like that. And people have find that all this hardware is maturing really well, and the user base is picking up, especially in the games side, so that maybe the bigger studios are getting more interested in it. And I think that is really important for the XR industry, is that the user base is actually getting to a bigger enough number that people are taking a bigger look at it now. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. For China market, in my opinion, I don't see that important enough can make me remember that happened this year in the whole XR industry. Yes, Oculus 2 make the whole industry exciting, Alex 2, but still there's nothing that big happen can make the whole industry warm. So for me, is nothing that important happen actually. Okay, so I'm going to next. Yes, this next question will be this year the COVID-19 has affected the world a lot. So what do you think about the pandemic's influence to XR industry? And is this a positive influence or a negative one?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. It feels wrong to say that anything about the virus's influence has been positive. But in all honesty, for VR, as I said before, the adoption rates are significantly higher than previously. So we can take that away from it. As I say, the use, especially in the UK, of VR for telecommunication, with people that may never have even thought about buying a VR headset before. Families wanting to connect with relatives that live far away, grandchildren with their grandparents. They're using devices like the Quest to meet and to socialize. Also things like Facebook Portal and even down to smart speaker devices. But really, obviously, VR has taken a step which it may have taken 5-10 years to take without the virus, in that people are using it, people are looking at it not just as a gaming device, but as a device for communication.
한국 시장은 로케이션 베이스 VR이 굉장히 어려움을 겪고 있는데 이 코비드가 온라인 베이스의 융복합 시장으로 발전할 수 있는 기회를 주었습니다. 가장 유력한 섹터로는 메디컬, 그다음에 재활, 헬스케어, 그다음에 에듀케이션 분야입니다. VR 시장은 한동안 침체기를 겪었는데 코비드 이후로 거버먼트의 적극적인 지원 또한 큰 기대를 하고 있습니다.
Okay.
For Singapore wise, I've commented a bit on this before. Is to me is that some people expect that VR can actually just come in directly and replace whatever kind of meetings that we had previously. It can immediately substitute that kind of thing. But I always tell them that it's not so easy to just make a direct substitution like this, because a lot of the infrastructure, most people don't have VR headsets of their own. They haven't really tried it so much on their own yet. Maybe the content, the platforms are not mature enough to do so. So a lot of the meetings that we have in Singapore, and I believe around the world, would still functions like previously face-to-face, and it's really hard for people to do so in a virtual platform. So people still use Zoom mainly. They don't really have meetings or conferences like what we are doing right now. So I can't really say it's a very big influence on the XR industry, because when we do business, especially to enterprise, we still had to do a lot of face-to-face meetings to do demos and that kind of thing. So it's kind of a bit of negative with respect to that. So a lot of our businesses, I think, kind of slowed down a bit. Decisions doesn't happen so quickly. But I would say that overall, I think people have set up and also could see that how virtual reality, in such a case of whatever is happening right now, virtual reality could potentially help a lot if people are prepared for it, if they have the infrastructure, if they have the platform to actually support this home-based working, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. For me, I feel like kind of like half and half. Some industry like arcade, they've been, how can I say that? They lost a lot of chance because COVID-19. But some like this software we use, or VRCORE, thank you for the tech support. Some chance like the online communicate, the virtual communicate, this kind of content or application, they got more chance. And there's one thing that I can special mention is COVID-19 actually bring the government take XR industry more seriously, and also like the 5G give this industry more chance because COVID-19, some industry, some like old business, they could use VR and also could not use. But because COVID-19, they start looking more solution like use VR technology. So I feel like half and half. Yes, of course, there's some small team will leave this industry. That's the bad news. Still, it bring more business, bring more hope. That is my opinion. Okay, so for the next year, what do you think is the biggest challenge in this business? Kevin?
Well, as everyone's rightly pointed out, the VR arcades, the location-based VR has been struggling, and the biggest challenge will be to support that sector. It's one thing being able to reopen post-lockdowns and such. It's another thing convincing people that it's safe to go to these environments. It's not just like going to a restaurant where you sit across the table from your friends or family or colleagues and have dinner. You're actually putting a device on your face that other people that you don't know have been wearing on their face. So as much as most of the VR arcades that I know and that I work with have taken extra precaution, safety measures, social distancing, cleaning routines and such, and they are safe environments, for people outside of the industry, it's going to be really hard to convince them that that is still a safe thing to do.
한국은 융복합 시대에 필요한 콘텐츠가 나야만 하는 시기라고 생각을 합니다. 하드웨어 디바이스가 준비가 됐고 5G의 네트워크도 준비가 되어 있습니다. 이제는 콘텐츠가 좋은 콘텐츠가 나와야만 합니다. VR, AR은 휴대폰과 달리 모든 사람이 소유하고 있지 않습니다. 또한 휴대폰으로 너무나 재미있는 즐길거리가 많이 있습니다. XR은 꼭 필요로 하는 요소를 제공하는 곳에서 사용될 것입니다. 현실에서는 체험할 수 없는 가상의 새로운 경험을 주는 기존 산업의 XR 기술을 융복합할 때 비로소 그 가치가 나타날 것입니다. 융복합 시대의 새로운 한 해가 될 것입니다.
Roy?
So personally, I would think that the biggest challenge next year is about budgeting for development of all this content. I think this year the government as well as government has given a lot of stimulus money to businesses to support us during this very difficult time when we had lockdowns and that kind of stuff. We have been digging into our past year reserves and for that, and then I think for government officials themselves, they don't have bonus this year. So I think next year they probably will be a bit more stringent with regards to spending, and sometimes I think VR is viewed as a bit of more of a sometimes a gimmicky, sometimes a bit of just experimental kind of applications that they are doing for innovation purpose, and they might be cutting down a bit of budget on that to save costs and because of this year's extraordinary spending on people. So. And then I think that will have a ripple effect on various industries, and as well as those companies that had a really hard time, I think, trying to just survive this difficult period of time. So they will be trying to save more money and not really spend more money on innovations. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. For me, I will feel like, this whole year I have no chance to do the international traveling. I have no chance actually meet I have no chance meet any partner in different countries. So I think COVID-19 didn't stop in 2020. Maybe 2022 also will keep going on, and so it will be very hard to do the international cooperate. So, but because this, we should do more to help the international cooperation happen. Because if everyone only do this, focus in a very small field, we might do some mistake. And we might lose some chance to do the right thing. I think this not only because COVID-19, also because the crazy situation happened in the tech business, which we shouldn't talk more about that topic, but it happened and you all know it. So for me, I will think the big challenge is keep doing international cooperation. And the last question will be, could you give an advice to the team still in this business?
From my perspective, it's like Roy was saying about budgeting. VR for me has always been a case of it's a long game. There's still no clear path to victory for VR, to a success, to mainstream adoption. There's lots and lots of good positive signs, but we're still far away from the iPhone moment, from everybody having a VR headset on their coffee table at home. So the idea for me right now, what I would advise studios to do is don't plan to become rich in VR just yet. Plan to survive until the time comes to make it rich. It's still a few years out, but there is rapid growth across all sectors. So we're in a good place right now, and just stick with it and make sure you don't overshoot yourselves.
저는 앞으로에 대한 기대에 대한 말씀을 드리겠습니다. 한국과 일본을 합쳐서 스탠드얼론 디바이스 오큘러스 2 판매량은 내년 말까지 제 생각입니다만 400만 대까지 팔릴 것 같습니다. 오큘러스 2 마켓은 상당한 기회가 될 것으로 보고 있다는 점. 그리고 웨이브 VR이라던가 여러 군데에서 1억 달러 이상의 그 컴퍼니 그 펀 밸류를 갖고 있는 기업들이 다수 나타나고 있습니다. 글로벌로 서비스할 수 있는 컨텐츠를 개발하는 것이 무엇보다 중요하다고 생각합니다.
Yes, thank you. I agree with you. Roy?
I would think that there should be more competitors for Oculus Quest 2. That's what I'm just thinking. If not, they are like dominating the market. I think it's good that they have a really good product and they have a really good price point for people to come in. But sometimes the way they do things can be quite, how would I say it, quite controversial, I wouldn't think. So if there's alternatives that has a good product as well as a very competitive price point, I think that is my wish. Actually, not really advice, but I think people should be able to compete with Oculus Quest 2. So I think that is what any hardware maker in the industry should actually strive to be competitor to Oculus Quest 2. Yeah. And I think there should be people who will be interested in getting those headsets. Yeah.
Yes, that's really, I agree with that. For me, the advice, I think still the next year, the biggest problem should be survive. And I think because XR industry is very young industry, so most team in this business is a small team. So for them, the first is keep them alive. I think they should redo their plan. At least the half plan should be, how can I say that? More stable income, and the other half can come to their own IP or something. But I have to make this balance to the limited that at least they can keep their company going on. So I think this will be the challenge for the all team. And also, yes, I think Roy is very, I agree with Roy. You can't just develop your own product only on one platform. That's actually a little bit dangerous. You should focus on not more different platform, and that way can make this team have more chance from different ecosystem. Yeah, that's it. So we already finished all the questions. Next, I think we can do the free chatting. Each one can ask a question to everyone, to anyone you want to ask, because we have this chance in this virtual room to do this communicate. I think is very valuable. So what kind of question you're trying to understand, you can ask. Anyone?
So I often travel, or I used to, as Rebecca pointed out earlier, that we can't really travel that much this year. But I used to travel across to the east every time I got the opportunity, and I'm finding now that because of the situation with the virus, this year in particular, there's a lot of companies from the east that are trying to find new ways to reach a Western market. Is that just because it's come to that time in industry where the software and the content has matured and it's ready to roll out into international audiences, or is that something that has come about because of the virus? Is it a new need to expand the market rather than a natural maturity?
So which one you are going to ask?
Everybody. you're all on the other side of the world to me. I'm sure you've all got input to this.
Yeah. I will be the last one to answer, so other people first.
Sorry, can you say like your question again?
Yeah, so the software and the content that's being created over in the East, a lot of it seems to want to come to the West this year. Is that because the market has matured, or is it just because it's a need for new audiences?
Maybe I think it's sometimes for us it's like a validation. I think myself and as well as like friends that I know in the local XR industry, if we want to expand to the Western side, is a lot of times is exploring new markets as well as looking for validation. Because my country itself, like especially at Southeast Asia, we are a very big market that is also mature. And so sometimes when we go to the West side, I think it's also a lot of validation to see whether our product can be successful or not. Yeah.
I see.
Then, yeah.
Benjamin, would you want to answer this?
Sorry, I have no idea this question.
This question is like why Asian company want to have more chance in West market?
Okay. 한국 시장의
韩国
케이스를
市场
보면
为例的
한국
话，
시장만으로
先只针对
위한
韩国的
한국
市场
시장을
太小了。
위한 마켓은 너무나 작습니다. 아까
正如刚才
레베카도
Rebecca
이야기했지만
所说，
굉장히 스몰 사이즈로
我
개발이
们现
되고
在的开发
있습니다.
只是小规模的
이런
进
경우에
行，
웨스턴
所以
마켓이
在这样
굉장히
的情
찬스가
况
될
下，
수
西
있다고
方
저는
市场就会
생각을
给我们带
하고
来很多。
그렇기 때문에
因此，
웨스턴
以
마켓을
西方市
타겟을
场
하게
为
되는
目标的很多韩国
한국의
初
많은
创企业也
스타트업이
就应运而
존재하게
生。
되었습니다.
Okay, and the Benjamin answer is he think because there's more like small team in this business, so they think maybe they can find more chance in Western market. Is that true, Benjamin? I might understand.
Yes, it's true. Thank you for
Okay.
the
Okay. And for China team, I think a little bit different. First, you all know China market is huge, so the small team, even they won't have like West market, but at first they have to some kind of success in China market already, because the international marketing actually costs a lot. The really small team actually can't afford it. Yes, of course they want it, but they can't afford it. At least the middle-sized team, they have this attempt. Also, they have enough budget to cover the minimum international marketing spending. So for the China team, I think it because they already a little bit successful in their own field, so they're cheating for the higher achievement. That is what I think.
Okay, well, those small teams in China that are looking to get into the West but can't afford it, go to tinybrains.uk and drop me a line.
Yes, that could be a benefit for the all VRCORE community developers. And I have a question, and I want to understand what actually happening in Europe market. Is there still many how can I say that? Many people have interesting about this about this business. Are they just holding until the situation getting better, or they lost their interesting about this business?
So yeah, we're finding. So I've been in VR since 2013, and I found that a lot of companies that were super keen and excited back then have since disappeared, and they're no longer working in the industry. But there's been a new wave of startups in the last couple of years. So I don't think interest is dying or getting any less. But it's also not growing. It's just there's people that are leaving and new people coming in. So VR has always been an exciting place to be in Europe, an exciting industry to be in, and it still is. But there are a lot of new faces, and some of what we refer to as the old guard have moved on to other things. What we are finding is that because the tool sets are improving so rapidly, the quality of the VR experiences is much higher every year than the previous year. So in 2021, I expect another leap in terms of visual quality, in terms of the product value of the experiences, and generally in terms of what the software can do with the hardware.
Okay, thank you. And is there anyone want to ask me about the China questions?
Personally, I would like to ask a bit on from China side as well as Korea. What do you guys think about the AR industry? Because I think the hardware is just starting to come up with Unreal and Shadow Creator. And Korea itself has been the first to launch the consumer Unreal device. So because I don't really receive a lot of news on what's the take on all these new devices locally in your countries. So maybe you can share a bit more on what people think about all these new AR headsets and what's the trend moving forward. Yeah.
Okay, I think Bejamin can share a lot, because I know we all know LG U Plus, they doing a lot with Unreal. So you can go first, and I can help you do the translate if you speak really slow.
Yeah. Unreal, LG U+에서 Unreal을 지금 계약하고 한국에 서비스하고 있는데 유저의 그 반응들이 상당히 다릅니다. 한국에서는 피코 디바이스가 한국에 들어왔을 때와 그다음 Unreal 디바이스가 한국에 왔을 때 유저들의 반응이 많이 다른데 구체적인 얘기는 다음번에 기회가 되면 또 같이 나눌 수 있겠습니다.
Okay, so you think Unreal and Pico have the same chance, right?
Yeah, Unreal is more bigger market, I think, in Korea.
Okay. Besides this, do you think still have other AR showcase or news happening in Korea?
Yeah, only Unreal came. Well, we can use Unreal only just now, but Korean many Korean company wants to Google or Apple AI glass.
So you mean they're expecting the more new AR device, but
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
but so far they only have Unreal, not enough choice, right? But you think the future market will be big.
Do they like Unreal? What do people in Korea think about Unreal?
Benjamin?
I beg your pardon?
What do people in Korea think about the Unreal AR glasses or AR glasses in general?
Sorry, I can understand it.
Do they like the Unreal glasses?
Yes, I think so. All adapter liked that. All the adapter is interested in AI glass very much.
Okay, so I can share more AR news for you, Roy. I think right now in China, if you talk about AR, if you want to bring your customer attention, they are looking for the AR is on like smartphone AR.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that if you give your customer a solution using mobile AR, they will more like it, and you have more chance to actually get a deal. Maybe the budget not that high, but if you suggest them use AR glasses like Unreal and HoloLens, because the cost will be high. A lot, not a small cost. So even developer won't use this device to do development, but the customer might be say no because the budget is too much. But I think the AR device company, they're actually doing pretty well compared with others. Other startup company, they are already doing pretty well, but they still need a killing app. Right now, if I want you or everyone in this room name one AR killing content or killing app, you can't say anything. So I think that's the problem. The market need a reason why I have to choose AR glasses compared with mobile AR. They're more cheap. Almost everyone in China have a mobile device. And also the 5G network going to more and more in China. So you have to have a reasonable reason to make them choose the high cost AR solution. So I think right now that is the problem they have to face.
I agree with you. AI 글라스는
AR
한국에서
眼镜虽然
먼저
在韩国
출시가
最先发
되었지만
售，
AI
但
글라스의
是内容
컨텐츠는
上
너무나
还是有很
부족한
多不足的地
상황이고
方。
아직
目前连
디벨로퍼
开发机都处于
키트도
缺乏
아직
状态。
부족합니다. 그래서
所以说，
앞으로가
虽
기대는
然很期
되지만
待未来的发
오늘
展，
현재
但
많은
是就目前来
컨텐츠를
看，
경험할 수
还
없는
是无法
거는
体验很
레베카가
多的内容。
이야기했듯이
正如
킬러
Rebecca 所说，
앱은
一
꼭
定是需要一
필요합니다.
个杀手级应用的。
Yes, Benjamin said AR glass, they have some, but about the AR content, almost nothing. And also for the developer case, they have not enough increase. Yeah, so if that can solve your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I really like talk to you guys like this way. We should do that more. And for me, I want each one give me advice in this situation because we don't know the traveling. How can I say that? This situation how long can last? If next year we still have to live with the COVID-19 with no solution, what kind of thing we can do to help us keep doing the international cooperation?
I think Roy mentioned earlier about the I can never remember the name of it. Is it the Infinite Keyboard or something? Where
Infinite Office.
Infinite Office, thank you. The application where you can still see your real world keyboard inside a VR space. I think that's going to lead to some fantastic collaboration on projects developing for VR within VR, which is often a dream of many developers that I speak to. And I think that will allow for a lot of international collaboration as well.
한국 시장은 외국에 굉장히 많이 나가고
目前非常想与
싶어
国外
하는데
市场取得
그때는 꼭
联系，
비행기를 타야만
但是
외국에
现在
나갈 수
由于
있었습니다.
全球疫情
그런데
影响，无法
지금
亲
전
临现
세계가
场。
동일한 코비드 시대에 있다면 보다 온라인에서 같이
我认为
만나서
还会有更多像这
코오퍼레이션을
样
할
以
수 있는
线上
찬스는
见
더
面的
많이
形
있다고
式达成合作的
생각합니다.
机会。
이럴 때 각 국가를
这时就
대표할 수
需要
있는
能够
VR의
代表各国的
어소시에이션이
VR 协
필요하다거나
会，
아니면
或
VRCORE
者像
같은
VRCORE 这
그런
样的 VR 社区，
어소시에이션에서 많은
为我们带来
도움을
更
주실
多的
수 있을
帮助。
거라고 생각합니다.
Oh, thank you.
I think that one good thing that could happen is that we have a news outlet that can actually report on things that are not happening just in US, which is where seems like most things happening. But I'm sure that there's a lot of VR developers and AR developers in China, in Korea, in all of the non-English speaking countries that are not reported on, and it would be great to actually have a place where we can actually find out more about all these different companies. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, all of you, spending time with me, with each other. And as long as you all have this interesting to do international cooperation, we're trying to find some way, like more these kind of VR chatting in the future and other stuff. We have to make this work. And if the COVID-19 didn't go, then we will find a new way. And thank you, everyone, for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.